So we talked before about being in a total state of alignment, and when you are, one of the first responders of that is nature. Hummingbirds.
Well, the very first response is emotion.
Okay.
Emotion, let's call it what it is. Emotion is a manifestation. Isn't it?
Okay.
Because you can feel it. It's tangible. You can feel it. So the first responder to alignment is emotion that feels good.
Okay. And then responding to that, nature starts...
Yeah, because nature has been in silence for 11 days. In the sense, sort of, kind of, they're not off talking behind your back. They're not complaining about Obama or Ebola or terrorists, or in other words, they're close. Their point of attraction is in alignment, and so when you get there, it's a natural co-creative dance that you do.
Right. So being at a higher elevated emotion that nature responds to that, and isn't it?
Well, so let's get these words clear. Higher elevated emotion. So it's higher because it's not lower. Very clever. It's higher because there's no resistance that you've introduced to it that is causing it to be lower. It's faster because you've focused upon it longer. In other words, there's momentum in negative thought and there's momentum in positive thought. So what you're wanting to do is choose a vibration and then give it more attention so that there's more details, more satisfying. Yeah.
Right. So that on the emotional scale, you're at the upper end of the joy, the bliss, and nature comes to respond. And I get the feeling that nature doesn't even see humans unless they're functioning on a higher emotional scale. That nature is the vortex. It is...
Well, they feel natural aversion to anything that's not in harmony with their well-being. And so you'll see them scampering away. Esther was in her house in Del Mar yesterday, and she came home in the afternoon, and the gardener had set a trap, a friendly one. Doesn't kill anybody, it just traps them and starves them to death. And had a little dish in it where there'd been some food, and Esther came and she saw it and she thought, ooh, I really don't like that very much because the gardener only comes once a week. And so what's going to happen if somebody gets in there? And so then she left in the morning to catch the plane to come here, and she saw the door down and she thought, ow, somebody's in there. And she looked in, and it was a rat. An adorable rat. And she said to the rat, what are you doing in there? And she let him out. And she hid the trap so that won't happen again. She doesn't want to attract creatures through lures and traps.
Oh, right.
She wants them to come through because it's a happy place to be. Yes?
Yes. I just had a pack rat situation. It's the second one in my life. And I had to use a live trap to catch the rat. And he was the most adorable creature.
So what are we talking about here?
Okay. Well, right. Yes, it was the nature of being...
In other words, you live in a world with many, many others, and the belief that you have to control all the conditions in order to live happily ever after is really going about it the wrong way. What you're wanting to do is tend to your own vibration. In other words, Esther really wants to believe, she's nearly there, that there's a big enough place for everybody to be. And that everyone can live in harmony. And that no one need assert themselves into your experience. And she also is wise enough to know that her attention to unwanted brings unwanted. In other words, she can wage a war on rats and she will have an infestation of them.
Yeah.
Or she can set them free and say, run. She sang Born Free as she let him go. Born free. Off he went into the bushes.
So I think that's one of the ways that I always like, if I'm a little bit off out of the vortex, is one of my favorite ways to get in is utilizing nature, and also one of Esther's techniques.
Now wait, so are you saying that you are using the condition of nature to get into the vortex? Or are are you using your ability to focus, your ability to meditate as your way to get into alignment, and then the conditions of nature confirm your alignment? Have we been taught?
Okay.
You see, can you feel the difference? Because you see, if this lovely thing is the reason that you feel good, then doesn't it follow that that not lovely thing would be the reason that you feel bad? And then aren't you like most of the world, needing to control the conditions so that you can control the way you feel? Unconditional love is getting control of the way you feel through the power of your mind, and then attracting the conditions that represent that. That's the most important thing you will ever hear or know. And right now, you know it. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.